It's the first day of Best of the West 24. So what I'm doing is I volunteered to lead the buggy group. Today we're starting in Grand Junction on the trail known as Hard Knocks. Hard Knocks is a short, technical, fun trail. We got a great group here, a group of guys that even came as far as Mexico. So that's awesome that people travel this far to come hit our local trails. All right, here we are up on Hard Knocks, and Springer is trying to V-wedge the big rock. Now there's a line there, a line there, a line there, and a line there. They are multiple different lines. You can see we're really close to the parking lot right down there. We've got a good group of buggies in the group today.
This trail is still relatively new, and it had been changing a lot. However, it's pretty much settled in to where I think it's going to stay for a while, as all the loose rocks off the top have moved, and now you got these bigger rocks underneath that are pretty much staying about where they're going to. This is the entrance of the trail and pretty much the hardest part of the trail. So what you've got is this big boulder section. It's almost kind of like a big playground, and then it leads up into the rest of the trail, and the rest of the trail isn't nearly as hard as this. So once you get through this section, the rest of the trail is relatively easy.
There it is.
Once you get up to this point, making it around this corner can be kind of tricky. You've got this big rock up on your driver's side that you have to pivot around to the passenger side. So you're climbing with all your tires at once. You have to be careful because this spot can feel pretty tippy. Springer uses a combination of front only and rear steer to get his car right in the perfect position. You can see you don't have a ton of room to work with on either side of this. Off the passenger side, the rocks drop off pretty quick, so you have to stay pretty tight to that driver's side to get through here. The next section is basically just a bunch of diff hanger type rock. Over the winter, Hod installed a rear steer axle on his buggy, so this is his first time taking this buggy out with rear steer.
Yeah, if you keep the front driver, it'll pivot you in place. There you go.
Hod ends up pivoting around this rock on the driver's side. That's going to line him up perfectly for the big slab rock that he's got to make it over.
Once you get the front up there, hang passenger.
This angle really shows how steep it is right here.
The front driver a little, And then once it goes over, passenger. Out front. There it is. Rear passenger. I mean rear drive. Either way. Yeah, try the passenger, yeah.
Once you get up on top of that rock, this is a tricky spot, pivoting around this corner to line up.
Hot is getting used to the rear steer. He put rear steer on this last winter. It's his first time out with it. So he's doing really good with it. This spot can be kind of tricky. You're almost, yeah, I would try to reposition one more time so you don't have to climb that wall.
I don't know which way to go here.
Hey, try to just work your rear a little bit, driver, and see what happens. If it gets weird, that's better. It's settling you down. There it is.
There you go, Rod. Yeah.
Nice.
No farther.
Little bit more if you can. Now you're good. Yeah, I used to V-wedge it around that rock, and sometimes when your back passenger drops in there, it can make the front end come up pretty quick. There, he's got it. Yeah, if you can get the front over, then rear into that and get it up.
Now this car is so stable. Every single line that he puts it on, it just holds it, and it works so well. Never once throughout the weekend did I see this car look unstable at all.
Yeah, some of the drag axle guys these days have been staying really far that way. You get the front over and then turn and just drag the back end right across there. Yeah, the back side is really loose.
That's why I wanted to cut it.
Most everyone took a driver's side approach to this big rock, but the breakover on the back side of it's getting so big it basically just slides you over to the passenger side.
breakover on the backs. There it is. Alright, how you coming along?
The rest of the group works their way up through this section of trail. After this, what we're going to do is loop around the rest of the trail, then make our way down to the bottom of Billings Canyon, where we're going to go take on Pinch Point.
By the time we loop around and get down there, you'll still catch up in the bottom. All right, everybody's gotten moving up through Hard Knocks pretty quick, making some good progress. So we're gonna loop back around, then head down Billings and hit the other trails. All right, we are heading up into Pinch Point. This will be my first time back up this trail this year. Last time we were here was kind of muddy, so we didn't get to play around in here, but I think I know this trail pretty well.
Bless you. What the heck?
I start working my way up through Pinch Point.
Bless you
Basically,
as
you
well.
get your front axle up on the passenger side. Once you do that, you turn really hard driver and then rear steer driver. Then you go till your belly hits the bottom, put the tires straight, back up again, and then do it over. Getting past this point is kind of the trickiest spot. This is the part that sticks out the most on this trail. This is a really fun, really unique obstacle. My favorite part about it is it's just pure technical. It's not scary or anything like that. It's just fun and technical. It's completely different than any other obstacle I can think of in the area. Going through the wedge at the end, I stayed up a lot higher passenger than I have in the past, and I barely touched my driver's side cage to that rock. Usually I end up sliding into that rock a lot more and scraping the cage a lot harder, but this time I was able to stay up a bit higher. Also, a big thanks to Danny and Alex for getting these cool shots as we went through here. I didn't even ask them, they just airdropped me afterward and said, hey, we got some shots, so appreciate that. You can see just how tight this spot gets. Now, I'm not aware of a drag axle car making it through this section of trail yet, so if anybody's made it through there, let us know in the comments below. I'm looking forward to the day where someone works a car through here without rear steer. I think somebody could do it with a good set of cutting brakes and a lot of technical driving experience.
Has to keep the tire up over here. If you drop a tire down in that side, it's not as bad. If you fall in over here, you get sideways. And once you get to that wall back there, you want to do a front dig like that to get it to climb so you don't lose your back. And that's what he's doing right there. Once you get both front tires up, then you can put it back in the rear and it'll push you up through there. There, it slid back down. If that tire can follow that line.
This spot actually gets trickier than the pinch point itself. So what you have to do is straddle perfectly these two walls, and then when you get to the end of it, while straddling the walls, you have to climb another wall on your driver's side. And what can happen a lot of the times is the tires slip off and fall in one way or another. Now Alejandro's wheelbase is a bit longer than the rest of ours, so when he would get to the end of it, he would fall in the crack a little bit easier. However, he is able to work his way through this.
I usually rub the top of my cage a lot more on this corner, but this time I stayed up higher. I remember that, kind of like he's doing.
Now you can see Alan's wheelbase is a little bit shorter, so once he gets his front tires up to that wall, he can start climbing it without the back tires slipping off. This portal car also worked really well throughout the entire weekend. You can see here it was super stable.
So when you lose a fuel pump on a spot like this, you've got to improvise. So he's basically adding fuel into the intake because we got no fuel pump right now.
Unfortunately, right after the pinch point, this car lost a fuel pump. Pretty random thing to have happen. However, these guys came up with a great idea of pouring fuel in the intake while driving it forward to get it up and out of here.
All right, we are making pretty quick work of pinch point here. Everybody's done an awesome job of driving through here, and all these guys can drive their cars. That's what's awesome. Nobody really hardly needs to spot each other, but this is fun. It's a good group.
Brent starts working his way through the pinch point. He's driving a Caliph Redden design portal car. Now I've seen this car back when even Caliph owned it. This was an incredibly capable car, and Brent's doing a great job driving this. Once again, he was hitting all the extra credit obstacles the entire weekend. He can drive, and this car flat out works.
Alright, so here's the exit right here. You can see there's that line. There's a line right there. I tried playing around on that line. I just couldn't get up and over the top. And then there's another line right here, which I haven't really played on. I always kind of take that one right there. Looks like somebody else made a new line over there. But this is where I always go. Just haven't had much luck on that center line, just not enough like breakover, you know. His fuel pump's been acting up, and when he gets on these steeper slopes, it starts cutting out, like it's not getting enough fuel. All right, day one of Best of the West here in Western Colorado. Went great. We had a great time out there. I knew today wasn't going to be as many people because we are going to the Grand Junction trails. It's on a Thursday. More people tend to show up towards the weekends, but you know, we had gosh, 4, 5, 6, 7, you know, around 7 or 8 cars today, which is pretty cool. Kind of throughout the day. So the thing is, we had a great turnout, and we got a group of guys that came all the way from Chihuahua, Mexico. Like, how cool is that? You know, people come from that far to wheel up here in these trails. And this isn't the first time I've seen people travel that far. Last year for Great American Crawl, we had a group from Chihuahua come up and wheel during Great American Crawl, and it was great meeting all these people. Like, super cool. That's the amazing thing about like off-roading like this. Like, people you don't know from other countries, you can just meet. You can just meet these people for the first time, and you talk the same language. You immediately get along together just based out of your interest alone. And it's like, Doesn't matter about anything else. It's like you're just out there to wheel and have a good time. You talk the same language, you know what's going on, and it's just super cool. And that's one of the things about this that I think is so great about off-roading and such in general. It's a really good time. So anyway, yeah, looking forward to I'm running back from Grand Junction to Montrose. Got to get the camper back out to the Montrose trails, so we're all ready to go for tomorrow. So we got all this stuff we got to shuffle around, but hey, it beats a regular work day any day of the week.